one thing that's very different about the corporate world to startup life is in the corporate world, you don't have to worry about like raising money or anything unless you're an exec member of the team and that's part of your job. Whereas with startup life, unless you're running like an agency or something that you can bootstrap, if you want to scale it and scale it quick, most of the time you need to raise some cash. You raised a little bit with Design My Night, and I think you've raised slightly more with Trumpet. Tell me a little bit about the process of raising capital, because you've obviously done this on both sides of the aisle now, from getting money for your ventures and also giving it to other people.
Yeah.
Not something that I know a ton about. I've always bootstrapped my stuff, but tell me a little bit more about the investing side.
I mean, look, it's tough. So similarly to being a founder, like raising money, I don't think founders are ready for how hard it is. I did a few LinkedIn posts when we raised our VC round for Trumpet, which was the first time I'd raised VC money as well. I'd invested alongside them, but never raised. And I think people were flabbergasted at the amount of outreach that we had to do. A second-time founders successfully exited. It was a good idea in a huge space. I can't remember the numbers, but I'd outreached hundreds to get the offers in that we did. And people are like, okay, well, if a second-time successful founder has to speak to hundreds, a first-time founder, unless you're in AI at the moment, probably has to speak to 500. And it's a sales funnel. If you think you're just going to reach out to 3 angels and close your round with those 3 angels, you're probably wrong. So it's incredibly tough. It's a sales pitch. So whoever is leading it, whichever founder is leading it, has to have the confidence to be selling the vision, selling the ideas, selling the team. So yeah, you've got to be ready to basically pitch. You have to have a great deck. Obviously, my podcast is around that, and because I see so many decks, it blows my mind how awful some are still. So like the top advice I give to people around that is short, like 10, 11 slides, not lots of words, very clear structure. Tell what the actual problem is, tell what the solution is, tell how you're going to solve it, tell what your revenue is, who are the team. That's all you really need at that stage. I see these like theses over like
white papers.
Yeah, and if we're receiving 50, 60, 70 decks a week, and on average an investor spends 90 seconds on the first look of a deck. So I always say to a founder, open up your deck and see how far you get in 90 seconds. There's loads of tips out there, but and the final thing on that is design. We've got tools like Canva now. Even PowerPoint has some templates that don't look awful, but I still get decks that look terrible. And even if it's a great idea, I won't carry on reading it if I open it and it just looks like it was designed in the 90s. So there's lots of tips out there. Go onto Canva and look at one of their templates for raising money. But yeah, it's going to take up most of your time, and you've got to treat it like a sales funnel, and fill your top end of your funnel. Be very organized, build your own mini CRM or Google Doc about who you're speaking to, who you approach, what stage you're at. And then you follow that sales process, hopefully to close. But also bearing in mind, most people will never raise money. And that's just a reality, unfortunately.
I completely agree around the design side. With my recruiting company, we get over 1,000 CVs a week of different software developers, right? And it just blows me away how little care somebody will put into their personal presentation of themselves. So the CV pitch deck, slightly different, but kind of the same. You're trying to sell a story and why somebody should make a decision about you in a business sense. And Canva's a great. I've had heads of technology from Canva on the podcast before a couple of times, and I use that platform. I'm a Canva Pro user. It's a great tool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm been in marketing my whole life, and to have that back in the day would have been amazing. Canva's an amazing tool. And funny you say about presenting yourself. I've recently did a post actually bemoaning that I would say 70% of the recent applications we've had for Trumpet roles were written by ChatGPT. And that was the question, why do you want to work for Trumpet? Which I don't want a long paragraph. I just want some passion, some creativity, some drive on why you like us and why we're going to like you. And they've just put it into ChatGPT. And if that happens, I put that straight in the bin.
Oh, me too. If the answer is as a large language model, I cannot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be an instant no. And it shows people don't care